There are rumors, then there are scandals. And then there are the kind of explosions that shake an entire city, an entire franchise, and an entire fan base to its knees. And this time, Tamar Braxton didn't just trend. She lit the internet on fire, because the moment whispers of a pregnancy involving Mendeecees hit the timeline, everything changed. Tweets turned into accusations. Accusations turned into investigations. And investigations, well, they turned into a full-blown legal circus when Tamar's own team rushed to shut the story down with a lawyer-written statement claiming that everything was hurtful, untrue, and inappropriate to even suggest. But baby, that's where the plot twists. Because Funky Dineva, the one person who was actually there on those nights, didn't just read the statement. He detonated it in one of the wildest live streams the internet has seen in years. Funky didn't bite his tongue, didn't soften the edges, and definitely didn't protect anybody's image. Instead, he laid out every detail, every moment. And every whisper he claims happened between Tamar and Mendeecees, from the thyrobing at Ruth's Chris, to the lap sitting of V12, to the stairwell hiding, to the Uber moments nobody was supposed to know about. And suddenly, the question isn't, is Tamar telling the truth? The question is, was this really a rumor? Or was this a secret Tamar never expected the wrong person to witness? Because now there's talk of receipts, there's talk of witnesses, there's talk of legal threats. And buried beneath all the drama is one explosive claim: Tamar was pregnant. That's true. This isn't just a scandal. This is a career-altering, relationship-breaking, franchise-shaking disaster waiting to erupt. And tonight, we're breaking down exactly what truly happened and why both Tamar and Mendeecees might be in the deepest trouble they've ever faced. It always starts quietly somewhere deep in the shadows, where whispers float faster than truth, and rumors behave like sparks looking for the smallest piece of dry wood. But this time, the spark didn't just land. It detonated. Because the moment the internet caught wind that Tamar Braxton might have been pregnant, and the name attached to that rumor wasn't a boyfriend, wasn't a fiancé, wasn't even someone she was supposed to be seen with, everything flipped upside down. The name buzzing in the streets was Mendeecees. And that single connection pushed the entire situation from celebrity gossip into legal warfare. Tamar tried to smother it fast, before blogs could sharpen the details and before fans could form the connecting lines. She released a polished, attorney-approved statement claiming the story was hurtful, untrue, and rooted in malicious gossip. She framed herself as the victim of sensationalism, reminding the world that she had a project out, that she was focused on storytelling and music, and that the rumors were simply distractions created by people who should know better. The message was clean, controlled, meant to shut everything down before it spiraled. But the problem, it was already spiraling, because when someone claims a rumor is false, people usually move on. But when someone rushes to lawyer involvement, when the energy shifts from "ignore this" to "I'm legally shutting you down," that's when the world pays attention. That's when people start asking, why did this rumor shake her so badly? And that's exactly when Funky Dineva stepped into the spotlight. Not with confusion, not with hesitation, but with the kind of confidence only someone who has seen too much can have. Funky didn't just deny her statement. He dismantled it, word by word, moment by moment, scene by scene. Because while Tamar's version of the story lived on clean paper typed by a lawyer, Funky's version lived in real nights, in real rooms, in real conversations, and he was finally ready to tell exactly what he witnessed between Tamar and Mendeecees. Not as gossip, not as speculation, but as someone who sat at the same tables, walked out of the same doors, rode in the same cars, and saw what Tamar now claimed never happened. The night that changed everything wasn't dramatic at first. It was simple dinner at Ruth's Chris, but simplicity doesn't stay simple when chemistry enters the room. Funky remembers the table, the lighting, the casual drinks, and the moment Mendeecees leaned in toward Tamar, not conversationally, not platonically, but physically. The kind of touch no co-star should be comfortable giving, and no married man should be offering. Mendeecees' hand slid under the table, brushing between Tamar's thighs. She didn't scream, she didn't jump, she gave that soft, playful stop women give when they're enjoying the attention but pretending to resist it. That wasn't rumor. That was witness. And when the conversation took a sudden turn when they whispered about him releasing a statement about not being with Yandi anymore when Tamar left, and told him to rewrite it so it sounded like him. Funky realized he wasn't watching a professional relationship. He was watching something blurred, something intimate, something that made no sense given what Tamar's team now claimed publicly. From that dinner alone, people could argue interpretation. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe Funky misunderstood. Maybe it was all just playful energy with no real intention behind it. But then came the night at Four Seasons. And then came the night at V12. And then came the moment. Tamar and Mendeecees ducked behind a column outside the hotel because a group of girls recognized them. People don't hide what's appropriate. People don't panic when nothing is happening. People don't sprint to lawyer letters unless there's something they desperately need erased. At V12, the energy shifted from blurry to undeniable. Tamar wasn't just near Mendeecees. She was in his lap, drunk, loose, laughing, leaning into him in a way no co-star, no just a friend, no innocent colleague behaves. People in the VIP section saw it. Some filmed it. Some whispered. Some didn't know whether to react or pretend they didn't see what they saw. And then, much later, when the night was finally collapsing under alcohol and exhaustion, Tamar went home. The group went with her to carry boxes, help her inside, wind down the chaos. And Mendeecees. He didn't stand awkwardly in the living room. He didn't act like a guest. He walked straight in, headed to the couch, and slipped under her blanket like someone who had done it before, at least felt comfortable enough to. Again. None of this was rumor. This was routine. This was familiarity. This was a pattern. And through all of it, Funky remained silent. Not because he was protecting them, not because he agreed with it, but because he assumed Tamar wasn't trying to drag him into anything, that she wouldn't weaponize his presence or twist his silence into guilt. But when Tamar publicly denied the rumors and tried to paint Funky as the problem, everything snapped. Because a rumor is something people hear. But what Funky described, that was something he saw. And now, with pregnancy whispers rising, attorney letters circulating, and Tamar fighting to kill a story that keeps growing, Funky believes the truth isn't just messy, it's dangerous. Because if pregnancy really was part of this secret, if even a piece of this storyline is real, then Tamar isn't fighting a rumor, she's fighting exposure. And this was only the beginning. The real storm didn't begin with Tamar's lawyer letter. It began the moment Funky realized he wasn't just being accused indirectly. He was being positioned as the villain of a story he never asked to be a part of. And that's when clarity hit him like a slap he didn't see coming. Tamar wasn't trying to defend her reputation. She was trying to erase her actions. And the fastest way to erase your own story is to make someone else look like the liar, the instigator, the messy one stirring chaos for attention. But Funky had something Tamar didn't expect: memory. Not just the soft kind that fades, the sharp kind. The kind that remembers rooms, lighting, body positions, conversations, breath, tone, energy. The kind that remembers the nights when things weren't supposed to be seen. When Tamar thought everyone around her was either too drunk, too distracted, or too dazzled by her presence to notice how close she and Mendeecees were getting. The kind of memory that becomes dangerous once someone tries to rewrite the truth. Because it wasn't just one night. It wasn't just one moment. And most importantly, it wasn't just Funky who saw it. That's what Tamar never accounted for. She believed the situation could be controlled. A legal letter here, a denial there, a reminder to the public about her EP release. A few emotional phrases about families being affected. And the internet would side with her. They usually did. She was dramatic, yes. Emotional, yes. But people loved her voice, loved her vulnerability, loved her theatrics. She knew how to work a crowd online and off. But this time, the theatrics worked against her. Because the more polished her denial sounded, the more genuine Funky's frustration became. And the moment he said, "I'm done protecting everybody except myself," the entire mood shifted. People didn't see a messy blogger attacking a celebrity. They saw a man who had clearly been used, silenced, ignored, and then blamed. And they started listening. The timeline exploded with people digging for the missing pieces. The night's Tamar went out. The cryptic captions. The sudden unfollows. Even Yandy subliminals. Fans began piecing together what Tamar wanted erased. Why was she hiding behind that column outside the Four Seasons? Why did witnesses remember seeing them whisper-talking like teenagers, trying not to get caught? Why did they leave separately in public but sit together privately? Why was Tamar so desperate to release a music video immediately after the first wave of whispers? Because timing tells a story even when people don't. But the turning point came when Funky described the Uber ride, the detail Tamar never expected to resurface. According to him, she didn't just sit with Mendeecees. She didn't just flirt. She didn't just act like someone enjoying attention. She kissed him. Not a polite cheek kiss. Not a casual friendly gesture. A kiss that meant something. A kiss that crossed lines. A kiss that explained why Tamar panicked when pregnancy rumors appeared. Because one rumor is annoying, but one rumor that could be real. That becomes a crisis. And when crisis hits celebrities, their team responds faster than they think. That's why the lawyer letter wasn't emotional, it was strategic, clean, cold, designed to shut down conversation, not address truth. But Funky had a different strategy. Reveal everything. And he didn't hesitate to mention that multiple people in the VIP section saw Tamar on Mendeecees' lap. People who weren't invested. People who had no reason to lie. People who might even have pictures. That threat alone shifted public sympathy entirely suddenly. Tamar's attempt at damage control looked like a covered dash up but deeper than the messy drama was. Something more personal. Betrayal. Funky didn't expect Tamar to drag him online. He didn't expect her to let days of speculation destroy his reputation while she sat silent. He didn't expect her to allow the internet to treat him like a villain when she could have ended the confusion with one sentence. Funky did nothing wrong. But she didn't, and silence becomes cruelty. When someone is being burned because of your lie, the pregnancy rumor didn't come out of nowhere. It came from the energy Tamar and Mendeecees carried together. It came from the whispers that started long before blogs found them. It came from the nights they weren't careful. From the moments they forgot cameras exist everywhere. From the way they hid as if hiding proved innocence. And when Funky finally spoke, he said something that broke whatever sympathy remained for Tamar. "You think nobody took pictures?" And the world paused because when two public figures move through public spaces doing private things, someone always sees. Someone always records. Someone always remembers. And that's why this wasn't just a celebrity fight anymore. This was a legal powder keg waiting to blow. Because if there were witnesses, if there were videos, if even one person confirmed Funky's story, Tamar's entire denial collapses. And if the pregnancy rumor held even the smallest grain of truth, then this wasn't just cheating. This wasn't just betrayal. This wasn't just gossip. This was a scandal that could destroy reputations, marriages, contracts, and careers. And Tamar knew it. That's why she fought. That's why she panicked. That's why she ran to her lawyer. But what she didn't know was that Funky wasn't running anywhere. He was just getting started. The moment Funky stopped holding back, the entire situation shifted from gossip to exposure, because now people weren't just reacting to Tamar's statement. They were comparing two completely different versions of the truth. Tamar's carefully curated legal denial, and Funky's raw, unfiltered account of what he witnessed with his own eyes. And in celebrity scandals, the truth isn't what's written, it's what sounds believable. And between the two of them, only one person sounded like they had nothing left to lose. What Tamar didn't anticipate was how familiar Funky was with legal threats. She thought a letter would intimidate him, silence him, make him fold under pressure the way most influencers do when lawyers get involved. But Funky wasn't built like that. He had been in courtrooms long before Tamar ever saw a headline with his name in it. He knew the difference between defamation and testimony, between a rumor and a recollection. And when he said, "What I'm doing is not reporting, it's recanting," the internet understood exactly what he meant. He wasn't repeating gossip. He was recounting moments. Moments Tamar insisted never existed. But the more she tried to erase those moments, the clearer they became. Because a denial is only strong when nobody can contradict it. But Tamar's denial had a fatal flaw. Too many people had seen too much. Too many waiters, too many bartenders, too many fans, too many strangers with smartphones. Tamar didn't care when she thought the only witness was Funky. But when Funky publicly called for everyone who saw Tamar in Mendeecees' lap at V12 to email him, the entire internet froze. Because suddenly, this wasn't Tamar versus Funky. It was Tamar versus anyone. Who was there? And one thing celebrities fear more than scandals is receipts they don't control. Funky even broke down. The nights like chapters in a book Tamar never wanted published. The blue denim dress at the Four Seasons. The green camouflage outfit at Ruth's Chris. The candlelit VIP booth at V12. The whispered conversations about Mendeecees wanting to publicly separate from Yandi. The flirtation. The touching. The hiding. The chemistry. The comfort. The familiarity. None of it matched Tamar's claim that the idea of an inappropriate relationship was a lie. If anything, the lie was the denial. But the internet wasn't just stuck on the interactions. They were stuck on the timing. Why did Tamar release a statement only after the pregnancy rumor leaked? Why didn't she say anything when the affair allegations first started? Why didn't she defend Funky when he was being dragged as the last friend she was with during her hospital incident? And most importantly, why did the rumors shake her enough to involve her lawyers? People don't fight this hard unless something has the power to ruin them. That's when the speculation deepened. Some believed Tamar and Mendeecees had something real. Others believed it was a reckless mistake. And some thought Tamar only panicked because the rumor involved pregnancy. Think pregnancy leaves evidence you can't lawyer away. Funky even hinted at the emotional layer Tamar didn't want exposed. At the video shoot, she wasn't just co-starring with Mendeecees. She was sitting in his lap in short shorts, leaning into him with a softness that didn't look like acting. And when they went back to her house afterward, Mendeecees didn't behave like a colleague. He behaved like someone who knew exactly where he belonged. Someone who could slip under her blanket without asking permission. None of this aligned with Tamar's claim that the rumor touched her family and children. If anything, the behavior itself is what caused the fallout, because actions have consequences, even for celebrities who try to erase them later. But Funky's frustration ran deeper than the scandal itself. The real betrayal wasn't the secret between Tamar and Mendeecees. It was what happened after Tamar rushed to Instagram, pretending to be shocked by the accusations while knowingly letting Funky burn under public pressure. When she claimed she almost died and gave the internet half information. They dragged Funky as the irresponsible friend who failed to protect her. Not once did Tamar clarify. Not once did she say Funky did nothing wrong. Not once did she stop the chaos, because in Tamar's world, attention is oxygen and drama keeps her breathing. But things changed when Funky stopped playing nice. When he stopped trying to protect Tamar's dignity and started protecting his own. When he realized he didn't want to be collateral damage in someone else's performance. When he put aside his loyalty and chose self-preservation. The moment he said, "Kay, leave me alone," was the moment the public understood something bigger was happening. Tamar wasn't just avoiding a rumor. She was running from a truth that could reshape her entire image. And then came the darkest turn of all, the part of Funky's livestream that echoed through timelines like a warning shot. If you think nobody took pictures, "You're mistaken." That line changed everything. Because if even one photo exists, even one video, even one eyewitness willing to speak, Tamar's denial doesn't just weaken, it collapses. And if the pregnancy rumor holds even a fraction of truth, then Tamar isn't just protecting her reputation. She's protecting her future, which makes one thing clear. She's not afraid of the rumor. She's afraid of the receipt behind it, and the world sensed it by now. It wasn't about who was wrong or who was lying. It was about who had the most to lose, and Tamar. She was behaving exactly like someone who had everything to lose, by the time the internet fully absorbed what Funky had revealed. The scandal had already mutated into something much larger than Tamar ever expected. What began as a whisper about pregnancy had become the kind of legal and emotional wildfire that burns everything in its path: reputations, friendships, alliances, and illusions. Tamar wanted the world to believe this rumor was beneath her. But everything about her reaction proved it was the one thing she feared the world discovering. Because when a celebrity is innocent, they ignore gossip. When a celebrity is hurt, they speak. But when a celebrity is terrified, they call lawyers. And Tamar was terrified. She wanted the public to believe the rumor was fabricated. But the details Funky described didn't sound fabricated. They sounded lived. They sounded observed. They sounded like the kind of moments that happen when two people forget where they are and who might be watching. And the most dangerous thing about Tamar's situation wasn't the rumor. It was the consistency of the behavior leading up to it. Because pregnancy rumors don't appear out of thin air. They appear when people get too close, when lines blur, when actions betray intentions, and multiple witnesses had seen too much for Tamar's version to hold weight. The hiding behind the columns at Four Seasons wasn't the behavior of someone avoiding fans. It was the behavior of someone avoiding being seen with the wrong man. The laughter and thigh-touching at Ruth's Chris didn't look like co-stars bonding. It looked like two people who forgot how messy intimacy becomes once daylight hits. The lap sitting at V12 wasn't innocent. It wasn't playful. It wasn't something taken out of context. It was inappropriate. Period. That was the word Tamar tried to weaponize. Inappropriate, but it ended up working against her. Because if everything was appropriate, why did she need protection? Why did she hide? Why did she panic? Why was she so desperate to distance herself from Funky when he was the only witness who could clear her if she were truly innocent? Instead, she tried to silence him. And that was her biggest mistake. Because Funky didn't break under pressure. He didn't bend under legal threats. He didn't crack when Tamar tried to paint him as a messy blogger stirring confusion. Instead, he did the opposite. He laid out every moment Tamar hoped he'd forget. Every detail she prayed no one noticed. And every truth she never wanted spoken out loud. And then he said the words that shifted the entire narrative. "You think nobody took pictures?" That one line turned Tamar's denial into a countdown. Because now the world wasn't asking whether something happened. They were wondering when the receipts would drop. Even the people who once defended. Tamar fell silent under the weight of the possibility. If even a single image of Tamar and Mendeecees surfaced, the legal storm she started would crash back onto her harder than anything Funky could say. Because lawsuits cut both ways. And Tamar wasn't prepared for the blowback of the truth she tried to bury. But the deeper layer of this entire saga, the one that made the pregnancy rumor hit harder, was how calculated Tamar's actions suddenly looked. She weaponized sympathy when it benefited her. She manipulated silence when it protected her. She used confusion as a shield. She posted emotional fragments on Instagram, letting fans fill in the blanks with whatever story made her look safest. And then she pivoted to victimhood as soon as accountability came knocking. But what the world didn't expect was Funky's shift from entertainer to truth-teller. He wasn't screaming into the void to go viral. He wasn't exaggerating for shock value. He wasn't dragging Tamar for attention. He was speaking like someone who had reached the point of no returns, one who had been pushed, used, and dismissed for too long. And when he spoke about his past, how he used to let people walk over him, how he spent years swallowing disrespect to keep peace, it created an emotional undercurrent Tamar couldn't compete with. Because for the first time, the internet saw Funky as more than commentary. They saw him as someone who had been hurt, and hurt people tell the truth. This shift is what destroyed Tamar's credibility more than any allegation. Because while she was trying to sound polished, rehearsed, and strategically innocent, Funky sounded human. Angry, betrayed, emotional, vulnerable, but human. And that made every detail he shared feel more real, more believable, and more dangerous for her, especially when he addressed the heart of the rumor, the part Tamar refused to touch, the pregnancy whispers, the one thing Tamar couldn't ignore, couldn't joke about, couldn't flip into promo, because pregnancy is evidence. It leaves timelines, medical records, symptoms, witnesses, appointments. It's the kind of truth that doesn't stay hidden no matter how skilled the PR team is. And the silence around that was louder than any denial Tamar attempted. She didn't say, "I was never pregnant." She didn't say, "Mendeecees and I were never involved." She didn't say, "Funky is lying." Scully said the relationship rumors were hurtful. That is not the same as saying they were false. And that single linguistic slip is what kept the internet glued to the story, because Tamar wasn't fighting the rumor. She was running from the implication. And the more she ran, the more obvious it became. Funky's final message wasn't loud or furious, it was cutting. The kind of line that stays with people because it carries truth in the quiet parts. You're fighting the wrong person. I didn't create this mess. You did. And that is the tragedy of Tamar's situation. Not just the scandal, not just the rumor, not just the legal pressure, but the fact that she created the fire, ran from the smoke, and tried to blame the one person who saw her lighting the match. The legal turmoil is only beginning. The truth is unraveling. And Tamar Braxton's biggest problem isn't Funky Dineva. It's everything she tried to hide. A story this explosive doesn't end with a statement, a denial, or a lawyer's letter. It ends when the truth finally stops running. And right now, Tamar isn't just running from a rumor, she's running from the possibility that the world already believes what she's trying so hard to deny. Because if even a fraction of what Funky revealed is real, then this legal storm is only the first, okay? Wave of something much bigger. But that's where you come in. Before this scandal gets buried, rewritten or polished by PR teams, I want to hear from the people who actually see through the noise. What do you think? Does Tamar's reaction sound like someone protecting her name? Or someone protecting a secret? Did the behavior match the denial? And most importantly, do you think this story ends here, or is the real explosion still coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't hold back. Your perspective shapes where this investigation goes next. And if you want every twist, every leaked detail, every witness update, every piece of hidden tea, the moment it breaks, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and join this channel's tightest circle of truth seekers. Because we're not done. Not even close. More voices are stepping forward. More receipts are rumored to exist. And the silence from Tamar's camp is getting louder by the day. Stay locked in, stay watching, and stay ready, because the real truth has a way of showing up when people least expect it. I'll see you in the next one.